A lot has happened since I made my last video. After 8 years, I joined a gym. The same gym I did like 8 years ago. And I got into doing the upper body the day before yesterday, and today I did the legs. And I brought my mom too. She hasn't done that for like 8 years. And so, you feel looser afterwards. So I really want to get into that again, and I really want to try to get into shape. Not only shape physically, but spiritually. I had to get rid of Facebook. It's not that I was on it for hours. I don't get on it for enjoyable reasons. I more or less I got on Telegram, and I would just copy and paste information from Telegram to Facebook so people are aware of what's going on in the world. And it wasn't much of an idol, but I guess the whole process of that was, it takes up time, so I got rid of it. I'm going to do that for some time and really get strengthened spiritually. But I don't know how much time I have to speak on in the video because I'm waiting for a delivery. And but I really want to share with you basically something my cousin and I were talking about. We were talking in my car for like a few hours yesterday, and just talking about personal information, sharing stuff, when we were growing up. And it's awesome because when she was younger, she used to be an atheist, and then she knows Jesus. So basically, her and her husband they seek God for everything. They don't move a step unless they ask God, what do you want me to do? Which is the best thing to do. But, one second. But we were just talking about, stuff that's going on. And I was sharing some stuff in my life. I've shared in past videos about, what goes on, doing dishes and stuff like that. And people making dishes and not cleaning themselves. And leaving it for the wife and I to do. Not only that, but straightening the place up. And I was just sharing with her, where the stuff is rooted from, the feelings that I'm feeling. It's like I have this personal fear in me, which is tied to worldly expectations. And I believe I had stated that. I don't know if it was in or video I posted or whatever, but we're all born into this world, and we grow up from people that are hurt, and we experience hurt ourselves. So we have baggage that we carry with us. We have behavioral issues that come from hurt. But there's also the reason why we do certain things out of habit. And it's rooted from hurt. It's rooted from certain mindsets. Now, when you come to Christ, you're to have the mind of Christ, not any kind of worldly mindset that's rooted in hurt, rooted in pain, and stuff like that. And if you have that, that's something that, you need to get rid of, because you're not walking in the fullness that God intends you to. So, just sharing it in my own personal life, my journey in trusting in God, learning to put up worldly mindsets, trying to walk, unfettered with God, you know, serving Him, getting rid of the stuff I learned in this world, and embracing the actual truth. Well, since I am learning to get rid of worldly mindsets, teaching people that God is the source, get rid of the breadwinner mentality since God is Jehovah Jireh. Well, since God is my source, then I shouldn't be thinking nor attaching myself to, the mindsets of this world, rooted from fear. For example, I don't have a full-time job, as anyone knows. I do the Uber Eats deliveries and I try to pay up on a bill. Well, according to the world standards, I'm a failure because here my wife is a full-time cosmetologist and she brings in the majority of the money. So people would look at that and criticize me because I am supposed to be the main breadwinner according to the world standards. And so the world will, of course, criticize you, but they also tell you what you need to do to be the main breadwinner. But I know what God's instructions were to me, is that He is my source. So, it's getting rid of those mindsets full of tyranny. I had to really, root what I'm feeling. Because, currently I'm feeling like if I don't clean the house, if I don't do the dishes, I don't clean the stove and stuff like that, then it's going to tick my wife off, and people of the world will criticize me. Well, you got to do something because you're not working. Well, that's tyranny. That's a slavery mindset. That's what the world operates in every day. And that's not what God intends, So basically, the people that are creating the dishes, well, they need to step up and clean their dishes instead of leaving them for the wife and I. So, I had these different thoughts. I had these different thoughts about, what I'm feeling. I got to do this and do that, otherwise my wife is going to be ticked off at me. So why would I feel that way? And it's rooting these thoughts and their feelings to their origins. What is it causing me to feel that way? Well, it's tied to a worldly mindset, that I'm not working and I need to have a full-time job. Well, that's, like I said, that's the worldly mindset. That's not the mindset of Christ. That's not what God wants me to think, So I'm in this place to where I'm thinking, okay, Lord, what do I need to do on my part? Because I don't want to operate in a place of slavery. I want to operate with the mindset of Christ. So basically, what are you dealing with personally? You're doing certain things. Well, why are you doing these things? And can you root them to their origins? If these origins are tied to any kind of tyranny from the hurt of your past, then it's something that needs to go. You need to write down how you could be free from that with the mind of Christ. And if you are following like tyranny, then it's best to give it up. It's not, you're not to walk in that anymore. You're to walk with Jesus. So, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm chewing on this currently, and I really need to seek God about it, about what to do, what not to do. So, look in your own life as well and find out what you're following. If you're following flesh, then it needs to go. But if you're following it, from the Spirit, then it's something to keep. So, I'm chewing on this right now, and I may create another video with, what God has said and stuff like that. But I know He just told me to root everything to their origins and to find out if it's of the flesh or if it's of the Spirit. And I need to find out His instructions if to do these things or not to do these things. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for taking the time to watch.